it's funny. I've got these right here for this exact purpose. I've got my, we call them Rosin colored lenses, but like,
oh, I love the rose glasses.
Yeah. Like, how do you try to take what I'm going to say seriously next, please. Don't laugh at these. I'm watching you.
Welcome to All Up in Your Business podcast with me, your host, Kayleigh Bain, where we talk about all the cool stories of businesses and nonprofits in our area around the Raleigh, Durham, and kind of beyond there pretty soon. And today's guest, I am so excited. I actually got to, so if you don't know already, I produce podcasts at Walk West, right? And so I actually had the privilege of meeting today's guest on one of the podcasts I was producing. And I was like, dang, he's got a cool story. And then if you listen to Holly Schwab's episode with Zach's Toy Chest, she talked about these two guests also, that these were the two people she kind of listened to and watched of how she should be doing her nonprofit. And so that made me even more excited to talk to today's guest. And before I say his name, I need to read you. I was telling him right before this, I'm like, I do very little research, but the one research I did do, it came back and it's like, here are his accolades. And I was like, oh, okay. So you got to tell me if this is correct. So I think
everybody's got to hit fast forward real quick. Go
right?
ahead.
It's a long list. Humanitarian of the Year at PPAI, whatever that is. You have to tell me what that is in a second. ASI, Best Cohen Humanitarian Award. Goodman Communicate. Oh, wow. I can't read. Goodman Community Leadership Award, Triangle Top 50 Entrepreneur, WRAL Better Carolina Award, and Triangle Business Journal Humanitarian Year, and among a lot of others, and apparently Triangle Rock, Paper, Scissors champion.
Let's play right now. Ready? It's 1, 2, 3, shoot. Are you ready? Right. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Wait, I beat you, but you were slow.
Wait, okay, do it again. Right?
1, 2, wait. Ready? 1, 2, 3, shoot. Wait. Okay, we're tied.
We're tied. We're 2 for 2 right now.
That means you almost beat the Rock Papers champion of the Triangle, circa 2013.
To be fair, the first one didn't count. So, but I am talking to Danny Rosin. How are you doing?
I'm doing great now that I'm on this ridiculously fun and informational podcast with you, Kayleigh. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. So I normally don't say what you do. So you got to tell us, what is your business and nonprofit? What is it that you do? And then we're going to dive deep.
Yeah, let's get ready to dive deep. So I live in two worlds. I'm in the for-profit world and the non-profit world. Kind of unique that way because I run both. I don't get paid to do the nonprofit work, but I've been able to balance those two things, which has been a great gift. And on the for-profit side, I am the co-president of a company called Brand Fuel, and we do brand merchandising all around the world. So it's the logoed stuff. But also we use design thinking and strategy, a lot like Walk West does, and we work with Walk West in the past. But I think our claim to fame is that we build e-commerce storefronts for large corporations to distribute merchandise globally, and we're also a B Corp, so we're focused on a business is a force for good, where we focus on profit, but we also look at purpose, and we do that through taking care of our employees. We do that through looking at social impact and how we leverage our industry and our company and our staff for volunteering and giving back. And then last, making sure we have a very clean, responsibly sourced supply chain. A lot of the stuff we sell comes from China, so we want to make sure that stuff's coming in, it's safe, and it's paid. People who make it are paid fair wages, and they're working in safe environments. And I think some of that purpose-driven work comes from, me misbehaving when I was a kid and having to do a lot of community service and liking community service more than I liked misbehaving, maybe, or getting in trouble. Misbehaving was fun. That was sure. But all of that, the connection points in the volunteer world, opened my eyes to what was going on in the world outside of me as a little kid, trying to find a sense of agency and juggle and get through the difficult stuff in my life. And so I started getting invested in the nonprofit sector when I was a kid and started some clubs that have now grown. I look back, I'm really proud of the work I did then. We can get in that if you want to, but I went to UNC Chapel Hill and I ran the philanthropy committee for the class. And we were just doing like really cool stunts, marketing things around nonprofit sector, trying to create fun around giving. And this was in the 80s and 90s, so early on. And so I was able to harness some of my good fortune in the business sector and the getting in trouble sector to create many nonprofits, but the one that most people know me for is Band Together, that thing. And I'm really proud of it. We hit our 25th year stride this year, and the organization raises funds for different causes in our community to the tune of north of $1 million every year. And we do that through,
Wow.
Through live concerts. And again, so bringing the fun, and it's a really wonderful organization. I think it's had staying power, obviously 25 years, but what I'm really proud of is that every year we have to adapt and change based on the needs in the community. And so we're constantly revolving, where we're pivoting the communications and marketing around what the needs are in the community as aligned with nonprofits in our community. So there's this partnership model that we've created. It's really hard, but it's really beautiful. I'm super proud. I get choked up when I talk about it, but that's the gist. I'm also a dad. I got 2 daughters, teenage daughters at NC State, married for 23 years last weekend. Celebrated Big Cat. Go check out that restaurant. That place is cool.
Big Cat. What is that?
Big Cat. It's an amalgamation of the folks who run Aja and Centro and local seafood. And it's like 4 restaurateurs in town who have come together that have created something very special.
Ooh. So what kind of cuisine is Big Cat? Is it sushi related or?
Nope. Just check it out. I mean,
okay.
It's the stuff. It's so unique. It's not even fair that I could explain it, but it's like angels dancing on the tip of your tongue with every bite. So take your time, enjoy the food. Don't crush it like you did that burrito last Saturday night at 1 a.m.
I love it. Oh man, there is so much to unpack here. Holy moly! So you do a lot. A little bit with Band Together. So Band Together is the nonprofit, correct?
Right. That's right.
And then Brand Fuel is your business.
That's right.
And when did you start Brand Fuel again?
1998. So we're 28 years. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Batting out 28 years in business, 25 years of the nonprofit, 23 years married, 25 years together. So
you're like in a good 20 plus years of everything right now. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to F it up. I gotta stay clean. Gotta stay true to the mission. Whatever that is. Oh my
gosh.
Yeah.
Do you ever get your anniversary mixed up with the anniversary of one of your businesses?
No.
That's good.
In case my wife listens, no.
That's the right answer.
Never. It's on the inside of my wedding band, so in case I need to read it.
Perfect. I think that's so smart.
You know what it also says? I don't know if you can't see it, but can you read that?
Nope.
It says, it has the wedding date, and then it says something to look forward to. Which is sweet, but it's also when you're in a relationship in the beginning, you get married, it's like, of course we're going to have something to look forward to. We don't know each other that well. We're going to travel and have fun, but then you have babies and you've got to, pay the bills and things just start to happen. And I think it's a good constant reminder of there's always something to look forward to if we get outside of the challenges and try and enjoy ourselves. And my wife, Nicole, and I are doing a lot more of that. Yeah, we're officially empty nesters as of last fall.
Oh man. Oh, I love that. Just like something to look forward to. That's so, yeah. I'm very single, but I've always wondered that, once you're married, cause when you're dating, you're like, okay, when are they going to ask me to be official? And then it's like, okay, when are they going to ask the question? Okay. What's the wedding? Okay. Then there's a baby. Okay. Then what? And it's just kind of I think that's a really good reminder of something to look forward to. So that's cute.
Yeah, you have something to look forward to too. I do you know about the singles pitch events that are happening around town?
Mm-mm.
So being here for a long time, I have the good fortune of getting to meet awesome people like you. And I started creating this list of singles, and this goes back maybe 15 years. I have 5 connections that I've made with people. Yep. Still together. I have about 20 that haven't worked out. just people dated, not divorced.
Yeah.
And then I got to know Maggie Kane really well. I served on the board at a place at the table,
Love
and
Maggie.
and she was like, I have a list of people too, and so I'm generationally one above her. So we just started kind of machinating this thing, like, what do we do with this list? And it evolved into a singles pitch event that happens in Durham and Raleigh every quarter or so. And it's free, and there's like 300 people there. And basically, your best friend pitches you, or your friends pitch you. And it is awesome. Yeah.
Wait, this is so cool. I'm thinking of it as like a pitch event, like you go and like you pitch your idea or your business, but
Pitching your friend.
I love
Yeah.
this because I'm like, if I could ever bring my friends with me, I'm like, can you just like vouch for me for a second? Just because like I
Your
can't
wing
create
woman.
words.
Yes.
That's
Right.
awesome. So, okay, you do all these things and you're a matchmaker, so no big deal. So,
Yeah, it's a gift to have been in the area for a long time and know a lot of people and to connect people. It's a selfishly that feels really good to connect people like that.
yeah, I will say you are very well connected because anyone that's like ever asked me about the podcast and they'll ask me like who's coming up or who are you going to talk to soon, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be talking to Danny Rosin, and people are like, oh my god, I love that guy. That guy's amazing. His thing is so great. He does so many great things, and I'm like, all right, clearly I cannot even wait even more to talk to you because I've never heard anyone not know who you are. First off, so I'm just like, man, this guy is just like well connected, and I love
You're
that.
sweet. You're sweet. Well, hopefully I'm connected in a way that this kind of goes to the doing the things of legacy where I think at the end of the day, like when the last note hits of my life, music note hits of my life, I hope my kids hear from people that like your dad was a really good guy. Like what does that, look like to them? And, certainly in the industry, like you want to be known for doing good things. But I just think, your family members, like those that really matter, those are the biggest supporters. They're the biggest donors to your life. I mean, my wife and my business partner have given me some freedoms that I cannot say thank you enough for, that have allowed me to have these connections and do these things. But I want my girls to feel, proud of me in whatever way that looks like.
100%. I mean, my parents are my number one supporters. My cousins are. I mean, my one cousin, like, I was going through a very rough time, and they took me along with them on a trip. They're like, hey, like, let's go. And I'm like, all right.
Oh.
And then one of them at one point, we were in a Kohl's, and he's like the business mind. So he's like, why don't you just like take everything you're doing and make it a business? And I'm like, would people buy from that? And he's just like, yes. And I was like, I'll think on it. So then that's where my business came from. And then I went to quit this awful job I was there for 2.5 months. And it was terrible, terrible. And I was like, I need to get out. Like, was being screamed at in front of customers for something that wasn't my fault. It was just like wild. And then I went to quit, and I told my mom, I'm like, I think I'm going to get fired, but I don't know why. And she's like, no, you're not. You're going to quit. You're going to walk your ass in there. And you're going to quit. And I was like, how? I got no money. What do you mean? She's like, nope, you're going to go do that. And then you're going to walk your ass back to Best Buy, and you're going to get yourself a laptop. I'm going to give you the money. And you're going to pay me back. And I was like, what? It was just insane. But like, when you need people to be there, they're there. And it's like your supporters that you just like, some of us know they're there. I mean, I've always known those are there, but it's just weird when it's in action because you're like, holy crap, I do have support. It's really cool.
My mom used to say about those people, and they show up in different ways in your life, but she called them angels all around us. And that they're angels. Sometimes it's like, your mom or your dad or your cousin or whatever kind of giving you a nudge or helping you out. But sometimes it's a stranger, who says something to you that you just really need to hear in that moment. Sometimes it's the guy that's wearing a shirt that says "Shut the F up," and he's walking onto the escalator the wrong way and falls down. There's somebody, angel around us, kind of made that happen. Like the guy with a negative attitude falls down the escalator. Like, that was meant to be somewhere. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's dive into. I guess we'll go into each of them on their own. So first, let's talk about Band Together. I would love to know what was the story that made that happen. What bring us back to the thought of it.
Yeah. So this was most people remember what happened on 9/11. Some were alive, some were younger, some were older. I was in my 30s. It was Brand Fuel was around. The Twin Towers were coming down. We were out near the airport at the time. Brand Fuel was, and I remember talking to my business partner. We decided to bring the entire staff together and just say, like, there's a lot of awful stuff happening right now, and a lot of it's happening at airports with airlines, and we're closed. Like, go home, be with your families, and we hope we'll be back at work tomorrow. We'll check your email, and so we left. Like, we were all home within a couple of hours of this stuff happening, and I decided that I would go and hang out with a friend of mine, Phil Gruber, at his house, which was right up the road. I wasn't married at the time; I was dating my wife, but he also had a couple other people over, and we were watching these reruns, this awful reruns of people jumping to their deaths, and it was just really hard to watch. And he said, I'm thinking about these firefighters and policemen and women who are there on site, who are dying, trying to save lives, and like what's happening to their families now. And so he said, we should try and figure out something to do to help them out. So I give Phil a lot of credit in that moment. And he talked about doing a wine tasting. Like, let's have a wine tasting event, charge $250 a couple, and we'll send the money up to New York City. And I was just like, I'm not a math major, but we don't have that many friends, It's like, that's $5,000 and you're going to really do a whole lot. And so he said, what are you thinking? And I said, I've always thought, like, if you could bring people together at a concert, I'm a big time live music person, like, and use that as the premise for getting people there, and then ask them for money, create sponsorships around the event. All the things that you see today didn't really exist then, but fly firefighters down from New York to tell their story. Let's put them on the ice at the Carolina Hurricanes game. Let's leverage corporate America, which we're in businesses, we're running businesses, young business leaders, entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs is what we became. We became nonprofit leaders in an instant. And they're like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's figure it out. And within 3 weeks, we had a concert event, New York bands, all the things I just mentioned happened. We raised $60,000, not a lot compared to what we do today. But in that moment, as an all volunteer organization of young business leaders in Raleigh, we were onto something, and we built it up over 25 years. And now there are full-time staff, and it's planning and marketing, and just it's a machine to be reckoned with, and I'm really proud of it.
Wow. So wow. I'm just kind of like, in 3 weeks you did that?
Yeah. I think in the moment, two things about that. One is when there's an urgent call to action situation, a tsunami, a flood, a fire, it happens all around us. I think, Mr. Rogers called them the helpers. Look for the helpers. I say, you need to ask yourself a question. And that question is, what's mine to do in this moment? And then you can take it even more broadly and say, what is my family's to do in this moment? What is my company's to do in this moment? What is my industries to do in this moment? What is my cities, my villages to do in this moment? And how do we, harness that desire to do something and then go do something? And, writing a check is a great way to do something. Showing up and volunteering is a great way to do something. Starting a nonprofit, not an easy do something, but this one just happened to work. And so I think that's what made this work. That, and I also think, companies are probably, and I think in the Triangle, there are a lot of companies that have heart. In the B Corp industry world, they all have heart. It's all purpose driven. But I think in the Triangle, businesses care, it is about profit, but they also, I think, understand that, they're comprised of employees that they want to have come to work and be a part of what they're doing and care. And so Band Together ends up being a platform for caring for them. They can come volunteer at the events that we put on. They can come and enjoy themselves. They can network and bring in business. They can market at these events. So it becomes a platform for a business to actually, help itself grow in some way and do well, but also do better in its local community. And I think that's the win-win of Band Together. Banding together.
Banding together. I love it. So when are these concerts usually?
Now they're in the fall. They used to be in the spring and sometimes the hellish heat of the summer. But we've had a couple rain shows where people showed up, and we just kept going. We have what's called the elasticity of forgiveness. We're doing something really good and we've earned 25 years. So when we make a mistake or it rains or it's hot, people are usually pretty cool. They don't ask for their money back, but we'll have an event, October 10th, 11th, whatever that Saturday is this year. And we may have something on 9/11, probably in conjunction with Activate Good, the volunteer group that you should interview with Rose Thompson. And of course, our friend Amber on that other podcast who's incredible. So come out and support Band Together this year. We're raising money to actually support Band Together. First and foremost, we need to have foundational dollars to grow. But we're also working with nonprofits in the food security space and also nonprofits that are working in music and music instruction.
That's so cool. So what kind of bands do you usually have that come out?
Yeah, they're all over the place. They really are. This year we've got kind of a swampy rock band in JJ Gray and Mofro, and then you may know the 502s, little country feel good band. Yeah, younger gen. They're so much fun. It's gonna be a good time. And we have other bands that'll come as well that we're lining up still.
Oh, that's so cool. I love a good like bluegrass. I mean, I love all that kind of stuff. So it's really fun. And getting to know a little bit more of the concerts in this area, because I'm starting to be like, all right, Kayleigh, let's go out and do something and be in our apartment all day.
Yeah.
So, no, the concert, especially like at Red Hat, I've been really liking going to. But where do you usually have yours take place?
Yeah, usually at Red Hat. We may have one at Red Hat this
cool.
year. We are going to do indoor and outdoor at Lincoln Theater, which was our roots, really, where we had the main events for many, many years. And so we'll go back to that for our 25th year. We had an event there last year that it was a smaller footprint, but it was awesome. It was soulful. We were in the downtown of the city. It just felt like you were throwing a big party for a great cause with tons of live music and people who were contributing to, people in need in our backyards.
Love that. So to back up just a little bit. So I know when 9/11 happened, I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and being a elementary kid, basically, they're just like, so they treated it like it was a bomb in place. So we had to like duck under our desks and
Oh, wow.
pretend the ceilings were falling in. And then we couldn't ride the bus home. Like our parents had to come pick us up. So, and then I remember going home and like, when you're a 3rd or 4th grade, like you don't really know what's going on. You're like, what's happening? And like, I used to live about 3.5 hours north of the city. So I'm from upstate New York.
Okay.
So when that was all, I mean, of course, I think it's safe to say the entire country was like, oh my God, like what is happening? But I remember like not understanding it. And it was just so weird and not understanding it. And like my mom's trying to like, explain to me what's going on. And we're watching the news and I was like, people are jumping. Like what's happening? Like why? Like I just remember like not understanding. And then fast forward, I was a nanny for triplets in the city and their family, their uncle was like mid 60s, and he grew up in the city and he saw the towers go up and he was in them when they went down. So he had his own experience, and I love museums. So he brought me to the memorial and everything. So it's very interesting. But like, what was it like not as an elementary school person? Like you said, you were at the airport, like were you here in Raleigh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was here in Raleigh. I remember my mom was visiting from New York and she couldn't get back home. She stayed with us for I want to say she stayed here for 2 weeks. Just there was nothing flying into the city for a while, and the smog, it was awful. You couldn't see coming in. Yeah, it's interesting. When I think back, I didn't have kids at the time. And I think if I had kids, I think I'd have a different feeling. Like your parents in that moment in New York, like raising kids and all that. I think there's a really probably a heaviness around what was happening. But I think for me, like I try to live my life through it's funny. I've got these right here for this exact purpose. I've got we call them Rosin colored lenses, but like,
oh, I love the rose glasses.
Yeah. Like how do you try to take what I'm going to say seriously next, please. Don't laugh at these. I'm watching you. So how do we take a tragedy like that, and how do we find the good in it? And that's my thing. Like Band Together is the quintessential find the good, the light in the darkness kind of thing. And it happened in Raleigh. Like we had nothing to do with New York. I didn't know people there. But because there were people here who cared and wanted to do something, and this was a caring community that banded together with bands to help those in need, America came together in a way that, in my lifetime, I've never seen. I mean, it's ripped apart right now. the day after, I felt like there was a sense of nationalism like I'd never seen before. And so I wear these, metaphorically, because I'm trying to find the good in everything, trying to find the joy in it, the fun. I remember Saturday Night Live didn't go on, I think, that next Saturday because it just was like, we can't be laughing when the nation is mourning. But at some point in time, we've got to laugh again. At some point in time, we've got to listen to music again. At some point in time, we've got to, talk to our neighbors. We've got to say we're sorry. We've got to learn from each other. We've got to move forward. I think Raleigh's a great community for that. I think that's why a lot of people move here as well. And I know part of your podcast is about, how wonderful Raleigh is and like, what are its highest and best uses? What are the high notes? And Band Together is one of those high notes.
I will say that's one thing I absolutely love about Raleigh. Like being from upstate New York, it was like I'm from the sticks. Like there wasn't much happening. Like it was all right. Moved to New York City. It was cool. It was really fast. Not totally my thing. Moved to Myrtle Beach. That was too commercialized. Hated it. Then I moved here and I was like, wow, I think I kind of found my place because the mountains are only 3 hours away. The beach is only 3 hours away. So I'm perfectly centered.
Yeah.
And the community I've never seen a community like this. Like, you're right. Like, everyone does come together. When Hurricane Helene happened, at least here, I helped with the donation drive. The entire town came together. I've never seen anything like it. So, and I just love learning more about Band Together because it's just making me love Raleigh even more. Because I was like, man, Raleigh's just so cool. Like $60,000 in 3 weeks. Are you kidding? I'm still stuck on that, by the way. How many people were at that?
Well, it's fine. So let me mention the flooding that happened in Asheville, the mountain areas, last year, year and a half. Yeah.
That's insane.
November-ish, yeah. We people looked to us to do something, and it wasn't a little bit of mission creep, but people were like, Band Together's got to put on a concert. They got to put on a concert to raise money. And sure enough, 3 weeks later, we had a concert up. WRIL was a huge supporter and revenue driver. But we raised over $1 million in those few weeks, and all these bands played. Old Crow Medicine Show, Chatham County Line. All these bands came out and played for free to, help North Carolinians, which was incredible. The first show, we had about 1,000 people came to the event, which we were really proud of. Oh, and footnote P.S. I forgot about this. We had offered free tickets to anyone who's a firefighter or a police person to come to the show as our heroes. It was called Band Together for Our Heroes. And we dropped the For Our Heroes later because I'm a branding person. And you know what that's all about. And it's really opened up. I mean, I think if you search Band Together now, you find us first and search, which is kind of cool.
That is so cool. Also, 1,000 people and still $60,000. Like, that's still nuts, by the way.
Yeah, corporate dollars helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing that you were able to do that.
I think we realized we were onto something when we sold out of pizzas, like in the first hour. We're like, okay, this is happening.
How many pizzas did you buy? Like, how many people were you expecting? Like, just a couple hundred?
Yeah, I don't know. We had sold tickets before, maybe half as many tickets. And there was a lot of walk up. It was a beautiful night in October. I remember I wrote a letter to everybody who was involved in putting it on. I talked about the mustard colored leaves, and my friend makes fun of me about that all the time. He'll just inject it in conversation 25 years later. But it was a beautiful night. We got a lot of walk up traffic. And there weren't a lot of things like this going on. There was no Red Hat Amphitheater. None of this. There's no Ritz.
There yet?
No.
Oh, okay. I only just came here in 2020, so to me, I'm like, oh yeah, it's always been here.
Yeah, Red Hat's been around for 12 years or so.
Fun fact. So at work, shout out Javier Leva. So he used to work at Red Hat, and so me being the dummy that I am, he's telling me something, and I was like, "Didn't you work at the amphitheater?" And he's just like, "No, I worked at Red Hat." And I was like,
classic new kid mistake.
Is that not the amphitheater? And he's like, oh, like the whole team was with me. They're like, oh, Kayleigh.
Yeah,
no.
Bless your heart. Bless your heart. Which I know you probably know what that means.
100%. And I was like, I feel like the biggest dummy in the room right now. So now we always joke. We're like, remember, it's not just the amphitheater.
That's funny. That is funny.
But I just went to the Red Hat for the first time.
Is that like the Walmart?
Is it like a Walmart?
No, you said I went to the Red Hat.
Oh,
It's just called Red Hat.
oh,
You
so
can't
just
say
Red
the
Hat. Okay.
Walmart. It's called Walmart.
Okay. I went to Red Hat.
There you
And,
go. Good job, Kayleigh.
and I went there. And so beforehand, my friend and I were like, oh, like, we want to have a little bevy. And so we went to the Pools restaurant right next door and we had espresso
It's just
martinis.
called Pools. It's not the Pools.
I'm going to make my friend Taylor listen to this because he gets on me because I never say the in front of things. I'm finally doing it. I'm wrong.
We got proof.
Oh, gosh. Well, I had espresso martinis there. It was my first time having them. And my friend said, these are the kind that you want to have. And I had it, and it was the most amazing espresso martini. Shout out Pools. Like, holy moly. Like, what's her name? Ashley Christensen?
Ashley Christensen, yeah.
I'm a fangirl of hers.
Me too.
Her
I'm a
stuff's
fanboy.
amazing. Oh, my gosh. Love it. And so since then,
One of Raleigh's greatest gifts, for sure, is Ashley Christensen.
that is, if I could get her on my podcast, that would be a dream come true because I just want to ask her all the food questions.
Keep asking.
Yeah. And so that was amazing. Then go over to Red Hat. It was super, super easy to get in there, by the way. Like the line's long, but it goes so fast and you're in there in like 10 minutes, maybe.
I figured it out. It's great. And the new Red Hat's going to be awesome. And it'll be a great footprint downtown. A lot of, more hotels now. We got double the size of the convention center. So I think, downtown is going to be able to digest a lot more and do a lot more. I worry about, the festivals in our city, and what's happening to them. And I think there's an opportunity to rethink that, through, the mayor and her vision. She's incredible. Also downtown Raleigh Alliance, incredible. The Raleigh Convention and Visitors Bureau. I mean, incredible people running those with great vision. And I think, the future is very bright, but we do need to rethink the downtown, and what's happening in terms of festival growth and departures and evolving, bringing people together in that space. Red Hat Amphitheater will help.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the growth, and also it is kind of watching how everyone's kind of maneuvering through everything right now too is kind of crazy. So then let's pause on Band Together. So let's take it back to
Brand.
I said Brand Together. So when did Brand?
Tell me if there, I could tell you every day. I say brand fuel or band fuel, which we own bandfuel.com.
Oh my gosh,
just because we should, but also my wife calls me a brand fool sometimes. So there's that. But
that's funny.
Brand fuel.
Yeah. So Brand Fuel. So what's kind of like what made you want to start that?
Yeah, that was an iteration of sort of cause and effect. I mentioned I got in a lot of trouble when I was in school, in high school. And I turned it around. I started a nonprofit called the Happy Club. The Happy Club was destined to make people happy. It was very general, but we did a lot of fun things. The fun things we did got noticed by an organization called Operation Smile International. You do free surgery on children with cleft lips and cleft palates around the world. And they were looking for, kids helping kids kind of arm. And Happy Club, Operation Smile. Found myself in the Philippines a year later, putting real smiles on children's faces. And now there are 600 or so of these Operation Smile student happy clubs around the world. That's what got me into UNC Chapel Hill. But the only way I could go there was if I paid part of my college expenses because we had a big family. I got into in-state UVA, and my dad said, look, you're welcome to go out of state, but you got to pay the difference. And I don't think he thought I would go. And then I think he thought, that's my son. He's going. He's looking to figure it out. And I did. So I sold a lot of Duke Sucks t-shirts door to door when I was on campus. And that became, my entry point into this industry of branded merchandise. And, fast forward, 8 years or so, my business partner was graduating from business school. He wasn't my business partner then, but he was my best friend growing up. And he was looking to do something creative versus, working for, some capital fund, which he could have done and done very well. Instead, he is very entrepreneurial. And we decided to go into business together, and we decided to shake this industry up a little bit and put a dent in it in terms of how we approach the industry through a lens of giving back, through a lens of technology with the platform I mentioned earlier, doing things in an original way in a very commoditized space. And so, at the end of the day, I'm also trying to have some fun with this company that we've created, and we've done well. And I'm glad that we, the home base is in Raleigh, but we've got, locations elsewhere as well.
I love that. Duke
Yeah.
sucks. Like, I know nothing about any of that, but yeah, Duke sucks.
Here, I'll show you
That's
something
so
funny.
funny.
Yeah.
And so,
Here, let me show you this.
oh my God, is this one of the shirts?
This is a shirt that I created because I didn't always get tickets to go to the football games, football games in Chapel Hill, do the slow reveal. Football games in Chapel Hill or at Keenan Stadium. And when I couldn't get in, I created these shirts.
Shroom attendant.
So I'd wear these shirts to get into the game without having to buy a ticket.
So for anyone listening, how would you? Just like a UNC
It just says
shirt.
Keenan Stadium. It looks like a Carolina restroom attendant,
It
like
does.
a staff shirt it's a fake shirt that I created to get into concerts. I owe the university some money.
That is so
Football
funny.
ticket. Yeah,
Room attendant.
that's the thing. Like, have fun, be a little bit mischievous. Push the buttons and the limits a little bit, but don't go to jail.
Yeah, just don't go to jail.
Just don't go to jail.
That's so. So you have such like a fun story behind this. So we'll take the next question then, and you can answer for both of them or separate, however you want to do it. So the next one is, what is a hard lesson you've learned along the way of doing Band Together or doing Brand Fuel?
Yeah, I'll just 2 words: strategic abandonment. I'm an idea person, and I'm not as focused as I wish I was. I need people around me, like my wife Nicole and my business partner Robert, who are a little more focused. Actually, Robert's not that focused. That's why we've done well. But we put people around us, like Allison in the office next to me, is super focused. But what we've learned is that we said yes a lot, and we tried a lot of things, which was great. And it's like the entrepreneurial instinct, but you got to get out of your way. I think strategic abandonment to me means that you have to say no, and you have to get rid of the things in your life that are kind of keeping you away from doing the things that are fun or profitable or purposeful. And so that could mean, firing people a little bit sooner if they're not a good fit. Same with customers. We got rid of our largest client in our history because they just weren't a good fit anymore. I won't get into it, but it was like, I think our staff was like, what? Do we have to worry about our jobs? And the answer is no. But they're also like, this company has like ethos and soul, and they're purpose driven. It's not just about making money. They want to work with values aligned customers. I wish we had done that a little bit more as we were trying to build the business. I think it would have allowed us to have more focus, but to strategically abandon things that were in our way that we thought were great, or partner with people or sold to clients. Today we are much more regimented, and I think if we had done that, we'd probably be double in size today. I think Band Together is similar. I think the thing in Band Together, this is my cautionary tale, or my advice to people in the nonprofit sector, is around capacity building. Invest in your people, invest in great people, pay them really well, attract great talent, retain them. Get a board that's working, that's helping the leadership grow. And so, capacity building exercise is something I wish we'd done a little bit earlier on. I ran the nonprofit myself for 13 years, and it was hard. And we always were so proud that we were an all-volunteer organization. And so we could say every single penny, every check you write goes directly to the nonprofits. Well, that was when we were raising $500,000. Well, guess what happened when we hired an $80,000 a year employee? We doubled. We were doing $1 million. So think about investing in the organization, and that this idea of the overheads in nonprofits, we talk about the overhead myth. Overhead's important. Like, you need lights. You need great computer technology, great people. Pay great people. That they are overhead. That's an investment in the nonprofit. And if you're a donor listening, like, invest in the nonprofit and trust-based philanthropy, that they are going to put those dollars to their highest and best use. If you just want all the money going to feeding children, you're not going to pay the people who are trying to feed the children. So, leave your funds as unrestricted and invest in great people and talent, and you'll build a much better organization that feeds more children.
I love both of those pieces of advice. I mean, it's a hard lesson learned, but it's also a really good piece of advice, which actually answers the next question already. But what are some of the nonprofits that you give money to? Is it still the 9/11 stuff, or is it kind of whoever you guys see is like the most in need, or who do you find?
I'll kind of answer with a little bit of advice. I mean, first, like, I have family giving where, just advice for anybody who has a family, get your kids involved in the decision, and find out what really tugs their hearts. Help them find empathy. Go take them to the front lines of these nonprofits and show them what's going on, where the need is in your community. We've been very fortunate to have kids that have been able to go to good schools, and they've had food on their table every meal that they've ever wanted it. But that is not the way that everyone lives. And so open their eyes and their hearts, and eventually when they get older, hopefully their wallets. And so that's one thing. From a giving at home thing, we've got many nonprofits that we support, and Band Together tops the list in many ways. But we're also involved in food insecurity, women's issues, women's rights. We're trying to do things where they can be experiential things where we can actually volunteer and do things together. Place of the table, we are a monthly sustainer, and they call those table neighbors. A lot of nonprofits need those monthly income that comes in, so they know how much money's coming in. And so even an incremental amount, $50, $200 a month, really matters. And then at Brand Fuel, when we think about giving, we think about our industry as well as, our local communities. And so we've started nonprofits in our industry, Promo Cares, Promo Kitchen. We're invested in PPAI, which is where I serve on the board, that oversees the entire promotional products, branded merchandise industry, $30 billion. And how do we take that organization and do good in this world? And so, I don't know, we look at a lot of things, but we evolve it every year and try and get buy-in from our staff and also our customers. So those are some of the takeaways. Like, what is it that matters to your staff? Not just the stakeholders, not just the shareholders, but think about the stakeholders, your customers and your staff when you're making those decisions.
Love that. What is maybe a piece of advice you were given, or a quote, or what's like something you've always lived by that's kind of helped you kind of stay on the path to keep going?
Yeah, that's a great question. There's a lot. I'm one of those people who like saves lots of quotes, but I'll just tell you the one that jumped in my mind that stayed with me forever. And I think it's how I live my life. It's a Hunter S. Thompson quote, and he's a gonzo journalist. You just look him up. It's fun to be able to quote a gonzo journalist, but he said, buy the ticket, take the ride. And so, like that, the metaphor for that in life, in business, in giving, in love, like just do it. I had a, if my daughter listens to this, she'll freaking kill me. My youngest daughter, I took her out the other day, and we were sitting at dinner, and I was talking to her about love and, like how to love deeply and to let herself fall into love. She's very protective, I think, right now. She doesn't know. She's a COVID kid. A lot of this. She's 19, so some of those dating years were taken from her. But I think she heard me when I said, like, it's okay to be with someone, to give of yourself and to let down your guard, and to have your heart broken. Like, the idea of it's better to love and lose than not love at all. And I just hope both those girls and everyone gets a chance to find love and experience it. But a lot of it is about the openness and the willingness to give of yourself first. And so buy the ticket, take the ride, in love as well. And I think that brings you to the diversity of everything, and it makes you appreciate things more. You're trying new experiences, and you're seeing things, and you're open to getting outside of your comfort zone. You talked about being in your house, like go out. If you look outside and just take a walk around the block, go talk to your neighbors. What a simple thing. Say hello to the person at McDonald's when you're getting your iced latte or whatever. Just say hi. How are you doing? Tip them,
Yeah, it's crazy.
Little
I kind of
things.
forgot like how to talk to people sometimes, because between COVID, but then also with my business, I'm always working here if I'm not at Walk West, because I still do my business after hours.
Yeah,
So it's like I'm just constantly working. I'm like, all right, we need to stop. We have to go be social, because we are social. We need to go talk to people.
that's right.
And I walked to the neighborhood next door with my dog, and we were walking by this very nice man, and he was like leaning down, like tying his shoe, and I didn't even notice him until he was there. And he looked at my dog Bailey, and he's like, "Oh," and I was like, yeah, she's cute, right? And I just kept going. And I'm like, I could have mentioned like, oh, nice bike. Like I could have said anything, but I was so like, no, just keep going straight.
Yeah, we gotta get off our phones. We gotta say hi to people, and we gotta connect.
Yep.
Yeah, you never know what people are going through. Is one thing that is always on my mind too. My mom taught me that. Just a simple, acknowledgement of someone who needs to feel seen. It's such a low lift thing. I mean, and the ripple effect from that can be very powerful, not just for the receiver, but the giver.
Like that analogy, everyone's seen it, where it shows, I don't know if it was like a cartoon, and like it's like you're just in traffic and it shows you and a bunch of cars on the road, and it shows like this person's having a bad day, this person had a promotion, this person's dad died, this person did like it just shows you everyone in a car. I remember seeing that analogy, God, I don't know, when I was a teenager, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that kind of puts it into perspective of every single person is totally going through something different. You just don't know what they're going through.
That's right.
Just
Amen.
treating everyone with kindness is just kind of like the key. And if you can't be kind, don't say anything.
Right. Is that the poster above your head? Be kind?
Oh,
I can see most of it.
Yeah.
There we go. Perfect. Good, timely.
Right. And then I love my girl Dolly Parton.
Oh, I love Dolly.
Right. So Dolly for president. I have so many.
Yes.
But my favorite quote from her is, if you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours.
Oh, that's so good.
That's in my email signature on everything too.
I love that. What's another quote you love?
It's by Banksy, and it says, learn to rest, not quit.
Oh, I love that too. They just revealed Banksy.
Quitting something.
Now you know who Banksy is. You can go talk to him about it. Have him on your podcast.
Shut up. You know Banksy?
They just found out who he was. Let's not talk about this now. We'll talk about it offline. But yeah, they just figured out how Banksy was like two weeks ago. I know.
I saw that, but I did not know you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I would have a heart attack if I
get him on a podcast.
I've lived by that quote since college.
It's a good one.
It is a good one because I'm an art nerd. I went to school for art, and so I used to love his work.
Yeah. Well, now you can find out a little bit more about him personally. Do you like the Dismal Land? Do you remember Dismal Land?
It sounds so
in the
familiar.
UK, he created like the anti-Disneyland. It's
yes.
Like dark and brooding and like it's hilarious.
Right. I love the piece he did. I think it was, I don't know if it was a little girl with a balloon, but it was in a picture frame, and then someone bought it and then it fell out. Shredded.
Yep.
I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah. So good. Yeah.
Right.
$1 million shredded piece of artwork.
Love it. I love a good art story. Like, did you know, I'm going to get super nerdy for a second. So
do it.
You know how Picasso, his art was totally all over the place and some people just didn't understand it?
Mm-hmm.
So when World War II was happening and the Nazis were going in and they were told by Hitler they have to take all the art out and destroy it. But it had to be a finished art piece. If it wasn't finished, they can't take it. And so when they went to Picasso's house and they're like, hey, we need to take your artwork, he's like, it's not finished. And so that's how he got to keep a lot of his artwork through that time. That's
awesome. Can I show you one?
Yes, please.
So, long time ago, when the now Soviet Union, USSR, was, there was a lot of challenges around US and the USSR, and we were all worried about the commies that were coming and all this back in the 60s. And so they were not letting any Western influences come over there, including music. And I mentioned how much I love music. And so the young kids over in the USSR were trying to figure out, Soviet Union were trying to figure out how to get access to music. And so the people in the US figured out one way to do it so that it would not be discovered and thrown away. And that was X-rays.
Oh.
This is an actual song. You see the grooves?
Oh, yeah. Gosh.
This is, what was this? Elvis Presley's His Latest Flame is the song. But it's like a kid's broken arm, but it came in as it's a single. See the hole in the middle?
Yeah, it's a
single.
That is so
it's an
cool.
X-ray. So the X-rays got in, and this is how kids in the Soviet Union listened to rock and roll.
Oh my! How did you get that?
eBay. I heard the story, and I was like, that's not true. And then I dug deeper, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy in Ukraine had a bunch of them. And I bought one. I love Elvis. My daughter's middle name is Presley.
Oh, that's so cute. I love that.
Yeah, Elvis is cool.
Elvis is really cool. He's got a cool
Elvis is
story.
everywhere. He's in all of us.
I always hear about the conspiracy theories of like, oh no, he's totally alive. But there's always a conspiracy theory of like everyone always being alive still or dead, either one. But they're fun. they're
I
fun
think he's
rabbit
long
hole to go
gone.
down.
Yeah, Elvis's spirit lives.
Yes, through the hips. So
Through the hips and the banana, the peanut butter bologna sandwiches or whatever. Yeah.
oh, that is so funny. Oh, last thing I'm gonna end on because I thought this was so funny. Again, I don't like it. The very, very light research I do, I throw it in my Claude. I'm like, hey, just tell me just some key things real quick.
Oh gosh.
And then I actually don't even read them because I'm like, I'd rather just get to know it from you because I think it's cooler. But the one thing I read, I thought was so funny. His pet peeves include unnecessary waste, unnecessary traffic, and unnecessary air guitar.
That is true. Claude is speaking the truth. Yeah, if I see someone doing air guitar, I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Time to go.
Yeah. Check, please. Pull the ripcord.
Well, thank you so much. My cheeks are hurting from laughing and smiling so
Me
much.
too.
So, I am so excited and so happy I finally got to talk to you and meet you, and I can't wait to meet you in person.
Let's do it.
And yeah, oh no, we're totally going to do it. And thank you for taking the time, for meeting with me, joining the podcast, talking to my crew. Where can everyone find you and all the things you do?
Yeah, it's just Danny Rosin, Rosin. You'll find me. But you find me through Band Together, Brand Fuel mostly. Kayleigh, thank you.
And Brand
Fuel.
Together?
Brand Fuel.
Brand Fuel. Yeah, all the things.
Yeah.
You'll find him. He's everywhere.
What is it? Band Fuel, Brand Together. Yeah, those things too.
And then your concert is in October, that 10th or whatever that Saturday is, correct?
11th, yeah. I don't know what that is, but I will tell you real quick. And you can just look. Yeah, so it's the 10th.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, 10/10.
Oh,
and also
easy.
very likely also a show 9/11, but stay tuned for that.
Okay, cool.
Come support us. We need your support. And you can see live music and have fun.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then what was the other thing you said? Oh, the singles pitches. When's the next? Do you have a next one for that yet or no?
I don't know, but just look up singles pitch night in Raleigh or Durham, and you'll see what comes up. It is awesome and fun. Matter of fact, they pitched a dog that needed a home. It was got a little dirty though, a little racy. Like this dog likes to lick his. Like okay, too much. Yeah,
too much.
This is where you pull me out again.
So funny. Well, if you are not, hopefully you are now, go follow Danny on LinkedIn. He's very heavily involved in LinkedIn also. And yeah, I'm excited to share your story because holy moly, there's so much to share. Well, thank you again. And for all of you people listening, watching, whatever it is that you're doing with this, share, like, subscribe, follow, leave a review, whatever you want to do. I'm also on Patreon now, so you can go find me on Patreon, be a supporter for less than your coffee, which is $3. And yeah.
Support Kayleigh.
Support Danny. So, I don't know where you one of those.
All right.
All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great day, and we'll catch you later.